Welcome. Oh my God, we got the light turned on. We're just going to move that up. Welcome back, folks. Today we are working on a very special truck. Tell us what we're working on.
We're working on a 2014 F150 Ecoboost with a 3.5.
And what are we doing today?
We're doing a timing set and an oil pump.
Okay, why are we doing that?
Well, the current timing set has 110,000 miles on it. The truck has 172,000 miles on it. I had the Ford dealership do the timing set once at roughly 60 under warranty, because back then there was an issue with the cam phasers. And well, we're having the same issue now. With upgrade, we're going to put upgraded parts in, the latest and greatest, along with the milling oil, high volume oil pump. So right now we're down on the teardown, and actually things are going really well.
Good. Did they have upgraded parts back then, or was it the original exact same parts it would have shipped with?
They have been chasing the right style and the right metal. What happens is in the cam phasers in here, there's actually a pin and a spring loaded that actually interlocks the camshaft to the chain phaser. So it locks out the hydraulically controlled. What happens was the material that they used for the locking plate would actually was softer than the pin, and it would actually ovalize inside of it. So they would never lock. If I probably could take some pliers and move them around, you'll see that. Plus, you know, this chain here, basically this main chain, it's longer than a country mile, so it does stretch over time. So I think that was one of the other reasons I was getting at. So just recently I started getting a P0016 fault code, which is passenger side intake camshaft out of phase. And what it basically means, if it's out of phase for more than the 3 degrees under certain loads, it'll throw a code. So I knew it was coming up on time to actually get these changed out. Also in the morning, if the truck sits for any longer than 12 hours, you'll actually get a rattle on startup, which is basically these cam phasers probably are worn. So basically what we're doing now is replacing it all. It's a relatively easy motor to work on, pretty straightforward. It's just a lot of plugs, harnesses, and bolts. Yep. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we got the time lapse running, so you'll be seeing a bunch of shots for the whole thing, and we'll go from there. Well, we made pretty good progress. We've got cam phasers and chains all the way off. I recovered a bolt from the skid plate that took me about 15 minutes too long to get to, but you know, it's what it is. And yeah, a little bit of cleanup. Got to clean all the gasket surfaces. Get the new chain.
Oil pump is next.
Oil pump. They're draining the oil.
And these tensioners, I got to come out.
Little tensioners. A lot of little stuff to do, but not too bad. Sorry for the heater noise. Getting a little chilly in here, but we're gonna now take the sensors out of the old valve covers and put them on the new one. Highly recommend, if your motor has any amount of miles, get new valve covers, because these things cracked when we just breathed on them with a screwdriver to pry them off. So save yourself the hassle. It's like $100 for these guys, and it's like $20-30 for the gaskets, the valve cover gasket that goes on here. So don't even bother with it. I would just transfer everything over. So I just transferred everything over. All the O-rings looked really good on everything, except these two are really flat and hard. So I'm gonna replace those. I forgot my O-ring kit, but we'll get that for later tonight or tomorrow. I put it on upside down just so I remember to do it. But we're in good shape there. Clean up a little bit and keep moving. We will swap all these manifold gaskets, intake manifold gaskets. They give you a timing kit that you can buy from Ford, which is kind of nice. It comes with all the seals you need for doing this job, which is kind of sad because that means they know how bad these are for this issue. You think they would just fix the problem, but that's beside the point. We'll get all these swapped out, and then we'll be all good for the valve covers and manifold. We are fully torn down. Things are cleaned up, prepped, ready to go. We got the first part going on, which is the new oil pump. And from there, we'll do all the timing stuff, and then just slap everything back on. We're good to go. Easy peasy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, super simple. The next time you don't want to pay your mechanic $150 an hour, remember what they're going through to fix your piece of crap vehicle.
That's the new idler pump.
Oil pump is installed. We didn't drop any bolts in the pan, so that's good. Getting the Well, we didn't drop any of those bolts in the pit. Well, this is what is this technically called? The water pump gear, the timing gear? What do they call it?
It's an idler gear.
Idler gear, okay.
That on 3.5 Ecoboost is the water pump.
Right. That's right, you said that. Yep. Might try to put the time lapse for fun of it, like right on the cowl. Making good progress, getting all the phasers back on. This torque spec is kind of a nightmare to do. Got to have somebody holding the cams with a wrench to really do it easily. I wouldn't personally trust the cam holding brackets, but that's your call. And yeah, now we're just getting sensors on and
these are the oil solenoids to control the cam phasers.
there you go. Are they new? They look new.
Yeah, they're all new.
Nice. So the classic while you're there, but
Yeah,
it's good
basically.
to
We don't have to pull the valve covers off.
know. Yeah, well, exactly. So, sweet. Gonna keep rocking and rolling. So we're about to put the cover back on. Cleanliness is paramount. Get yourself some nice clean shop towels down there. We got Bill over here is doing the, I'm talking to the camera. Talking to the people, Bill. He's doing the RTVing of it. And you don't want to use too much because all these flakes will come off in your oil pan, get in your oil pump pickup screen, and you'll lose oil pressure and be like, what the heck, I just put a new oil pump in. Well, guess what? You clogged it all up with chunks of RTV, so be careful about that. But other than that, all good. Also good to put a couple of dabs next to where the heads meet the block because there's a gap there. Unfortunately, you have a three-way joint. It's really unavoidable, but it's not ideal, so you just got to try to load it up with a little bit of RTV.
You do the same thing when we do the
Yep, when you do the valve covers. That makes sense. Otherwise, they might leak. Cool. Now we wait. Okay, we got the front cover back on. We'll let all the RTV dry overnight. A little bit late here. I think we made really good progress for like 6 to 8 hours of work with two guys. Not bad, especially for rookies who don't know what the heck they're doing. And we'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Welcome back, world. It's day 2. We've got to get the valve covers on, intake manifold, all the front drive, all the connectors hooked back up, vacuum lines, etc. But we're on the uphill stretch here with this job, so we're just gonna put the cameras down. We'll run the time lapse you can see there, and we'll just start cranking away on this thing. So this job was going too smoothly to find some error. When he was going to put the water pump on, one of the water pump bolts snapped. And the water pump is about 6 months old, so maybe these bolts got heat cycled enough, but I mean, he breathed on it and the thing snapped. Luckily, we were able to get the rest of the bolt out, and he's gonna go buy some new hardware. I'm going to get the intake manifold on, which is really not ideal to do right now just because getting to the water pump's easier without it on, but whatever, it's not that much harder. Get that on, I'll get these stretch AC belts on, and just kind of keep plugging stuff in, figuring out what I can do. So I should be able to keep myself busy till he gets back. We're on the home stretch. Got a lot of the coolant pipes in. All the wiring's done, vacuum lines for the most part. Got to get the boost piping in. We actually filled it with coolant already. Little stuff, hook up our battery terminals. Make sure we didn't miss any bolts. We should be good to go. The only thing left to do is put some oil in it. We got all the boost piping.
Prime the oil.
Prime the fuel pump.
Prime the fuel pump.
We should be in shape. We'll check for, make sure we threw a couple of loose fasteners in the intake, keep things interesting. And that's it. Oh, we gotta put the hood latch back on.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do that quick. Need a new battery, my friend. Sounds good anyway. Will we actually see the oil pressure come up?
It will.
Or is it dummy gauge? Okay. Do you want me to let off at any point or just keep cranking it?
Just keep going.
Okay.
Give a second.
I didn't do that.
No.
Okay.
It does that on its own. It does.
Well, I didn't get the startup on camera, guys. We ran into issues getting the oil pressure to come up to temp. Talking to the camera. Or oil pressure to come up on the gauge just from turning it over on idle. Or, sorry, without the fuel pump fuse in. But she seems to be fine now, so stay tuned. What are you looking for? In general?
Just in general.
Well, that wraps that up. The EcoBoost is fully back in action. Yeah, not much else to say about it. Fired right up. We got oil pressure. No problem. Sounds actually really, really healthy, which is good. No weird ticks or rattles even on startup. So definitely in much better shape than it was before it came in. And that's the whole point of fixing a car. So anyways, guys, with that being said, as always, thanks for watching. God bless America, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.